All right, what's up, guys? This is my 1989 GMC C1500, and today I'm gonna be installing some shocks on it. I got the Beltec. I don't even know. Let's see. Beltec Nitro Drop 2 shocks, street performance. And these shocks are meant for a truck that's lowered anywhere from 2 to 5 inches. Now, the issue I have is that I don't know how much this truck has been lowered. But what I do know is that it has been lowered, just don't know how much. Now, what I'm thinking is that it's been dropped about 2 inches in the front, 4 inches in the back. So I'm hoping that these shocks will fit properly and they won't end up lowering the truck even more, because I don't have much room, especially with these 10-inch wide wheels. I don't want to end up destroying these fenders, which are fiberglass in the back. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna start off in the front on this corner, see what happens, and if the new shock doesn't end up lowering it too much, then I will continue to do all the other sides. Right now I have about less than 3 inches of space. So I'm hoping that once I place in this new shock, it won't go any lower, which it shouldn't. I believe the way they drop this truck is they cut the springs in the front and on the back. Yeah, so on the back, I think they just use some sort of shackle. Oh. On the back, I think they use some sort of shackle to extend it. I'm not 100% positive, but I'm pretty sure they didn't do the flip on the springs, because from what I know, the springs should be on the bottom and not on the top when they do the flip, whatever you call it. As you can tell, these are the original shocks, or they might not be original, but they are original size. And you can tell they're bottomed out, so I'm really not getting any proper response from them. So yeah, let's get started on this and let's see how it goes. Hopefully these shocks work out, and if they don't, well, I'm gonna make them work out anyway. I'll probably just end up getting different wheels, so that if it lowers, if the truck ends up going too low, new smaller wheels will clear the fenders. All right, so I got the front shock out, and here's a comparison of the size difference. I guess you could tell this one is definitely shorter compared to this one, so it should make a difference in the travel, being that the truck is lowered. Now, a good way to test these out to see if they still work is by pressing down on them. And see if they rebound. And if they don't rebound properly, which this one is kind of doing, but not really, not to its full potential, then you know they're bad. No, I'm guessing these are probably the original ones that came in the truck, which if they are, that's gonna be gnarly, over 30 years old. But I don't think they are. They're probably they've probably been replaced once or twice. The top nut is a 14 millimeter. Bottom nut, there's 2 of them, are 13 millimeters. you're gonna want to grip onto this piece with some pliers or something, because when you're removing that top nut, this tends to spin, and then the nut won't come loose, or it won't come out, period. All right, I got the first side in. Basically, the way that this one came out, that new one was not able to go in. This one, I simply dropped it down from the bottom by loosening the bolt on the top, the 2 bolts on the bottom, and it literally just fell out. But because this one right here is much wider, more round than this one, that one was not able to go back in the same way. So I had to loosen this bolt, loosen this bolt, or the one down here, and loosen that bolt. That way I could drop the whole lower control arm, pull the spring out, place the shock within the spring, throw it all back in there, and clamp it all back together. I got the shock bolted in place. The lower control arm is being supported by this jack. I got the shock also bolted on the top part. Now, time to button the steering arms and all that back together. All right, we got everything tightened back up. These don't go too tight. A little bit tighter than hand tight. Same thing with that one. Place the cotter pin back in. This one I'm gonna replace next time around. The bushings are all worn out completely. Yeah. The shock is tightened on the top with the dual nuts. The top nut locks the bottom nut in place and keeps it from slipping out. Now it's time to go to this side and knock that one out. All right, I got the front suspension in. Didn't give me any sort of drop, thankfully. I'm riding right around below 3 inches. Let me get the tape measure. At 3 inches, so a little bit above. No, exactly at 3 inches. I was riding below 3 inches before. So the shocks are in there. You can't even see them. They're all tucked. 3 inches on that side. 3 inches exactly on this side as well. Wow. That's pretty cool, actually. I started on the back. The back is way easier, super simple. Only 3 bolts for each shock. I have one in. The bolts on the top are 13 inches, a size 13. Size 13, you need to place one on the top, one on the bottom, because the top one will spin if you break the bottom one loose. The one on the other side is on the other side of the, in front of the drive shaft. The bolts on the bottom, the big ones, these right here are 21s, and you also need one holding the other side while you break the other side loose. Hopefully these shocks really make a difference, which they should, honestly, because these shocks, the previous shocks, were just completely worn out and beat up. They don't even bounce back. No rebound whatsoever. I have to pull them out by hand, and then they kind of start to react. Don't know what kind of shocks they were, but I'm glad I got them out of there. One more shock to go, and then I'm gonna give it a quick test drive, see how it responds. All right, I got the passenger side shock out, and this one is just really crusty. Tons of dirt in there. Bushings are shot completely. And I'm sure it doesn't rebound as well. Nothing. So yeah, these definitely needed to get replaced. It was about time. The passenger side was way more complicated, or not complicated, but harder to get to because of my side exhaust. And I had to crawl under the rear axle. And you can't even see the area where it attaches to, but way more challenging to get to. Thankfully I got it out. Again, like I said before, these shocks are about a couple inches shorter, so it's for any vehicle that is dropped anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, I believe. Let's see, does it say it here anywhere? I don't believe so. But yeah, let's get this thing back in there. All right, I got the rear shocks in both sides. I got a small issue, but it is an issue that I had previous to installing the shocks. And that issue is basically on this side, a little bit of a 3 inches. A little bit above, yeah. And this one, same thing, a little bit above, 3 inches. It was 3 earlier, but I was jumping on the bed and probably moved the shocks around a little bit above 3 inches as well. So all these 3 corners, this corner, that corner, and that corner match up. 3 inches and a quarter around there. This side though, I'm at 4.5, and I'm not too sure why. The bed is leveled here in that area. It's flat on there as well. Flat on there as well. So what I'm thinking is that it's this quarter panel that is off somehow. Possibly. But one thing that I did notice is right here we're at 2 inches almost exactly. And over here, oh, we're about the same actually. I don't know. But basically, it's Chinese New Year. If you can hear all the fireworks, that's what that is. Anyway, before installing the shocks, I was already lopsided like this. On one side I was a bit higher, and on the other side I was a bit lower. So I know it's not in the shocks. It doesn't have to do with the shocks. It has to do with something else. I'm thinking it might have something to do with the bolts on the bed and how it attaches onto here. Possibly. But I'm not positive. I'm not positive that it's that. It might have something to do with the shackles. I don't know. I don't plan on going any lower anytime soon, just because I like the ride height that it has at the moment. It's perfect. I don't want to be bottoming out anywhere. The ride quality is good, and it's not too high, neither is it too low. It's just right for me, at least. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. These are the shocks. They're in there. All right, I don't even know what I was saying last, but that wraps up the video. I might be dropping a couple other videos talking about the interior a little bit. Or I might do a video on replacing this panel. Got a couple of tears in it that I would love to get rid of. I might do another video someday, kind of going over the whole truck and talking about it a little bit better, going into detail on it. But yeah, that's about it. Hopefully I post this video up soon. But yeah, if you know something is not right with this, let me know in the comment section if you know, because this is a 1989. So tell me what's wrong here. Yeah, stay tuned. Hopefully I'll drop a couple more videos on the truck. Thanks guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Adios.